We could leverage the SMART framework and research to help us form our goals more effectively. However, we should not forget about the data we gathered previously, as well as the tools we have at our disposal to help us leverage our gathered data. Recall that in our informing phase, we brainstormed our interests based on our own experiences, values, and motivations. Then, based on these brainstormed interests, we gathered more information on them using a search engine. We logged our search results in a spreadsheet and word processor. Finally, we reflected and ranked each of these interests based on gathered data. If you still feel like you are missing some of the information on your interests, there's no need to panic. If you are still unsure on your interests, you can always go back and spend a little bit more time on brainstorming and data gathering. On the other hand, if you are feeling somewhat confident in your interest and have some general idea of where you want to go with goal forming, feel free to continue the goal-oriented planning process. Going back to the data that we gathered previously, we can start forming our goals by thinking about which goal to prioritize first and which goal will follow after. If you ranked your interests from the informing phase, this should be somewhat straightforward unless you had to reorder your interest. Do you have an interest that appears to be ongoing, such as basketball, or do you have an interest that has some sort of due date, such as obtaining a degree? Which of your goals will be a short-term goal, and which would you consider to be a long-term goal? Consider things such as your own ability, scheduling, and other variables that might affect your performance before you define your short-term goals. Do you have long-term goals, which could be broken up into smaller and more doable short-term goals? During goal forming, you might find yourself drifting away from the process. When in doubt, use the SMART framework for goal forming. Keep in mind that in this goal-oriented planning process, interests, goals, and plans can always be refined or adjusted later.